This video was sponsored by PowerCircle Clothing and Headbusters Food Company in association with Cook Up Unlimited.
Cook up!
It's not a podcast.
Dennis here, back with another episode of This Is Not a Podcast. Y'all already know what the lick read. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and hit that notification button. Now, today, we're going to hit you with another movie review for today. So I'm going to do a quick review. My wife and my daughters is out and about right now. They'll be home really soon, so I don't never really get too much peace and quiet, and you don't get days like this, so I'm going to definitely take full advantage of hitting y'all with a vlog right now. So I've been catching up on a little bit of work, but I also been catching up on my movie. So I'm going to hit y'all with a movie review. So today's movie we'll be talking about today is Elvis, the Elvis Biopic, the 2022 version. Now, before we start, first of all, I want to say shouts out to everybody that came together and put this movie together. I think it took about $85 million to make this movie, and they grossed over $200 and some million worldwide so far to date. And I gotta say, it was a dope movie. I thought it was gonna be bad, I ain't gonna lie, because the guy that actually played Elvis doesn't really look like Elvis at all. But he did a phenomenal job, and he got the thumbs up, this big stamp of approval from the Presley family, by the way. Now, let's get into the movie. We all know the story about Elvis, and for those of you that follow Elvis, and being that I'm 39, so Elvis was way before my time, but who don't know about Elvis? I'm a big biopic fan, and I love, especially when it comes to rock legends or hip-hop legends or anything like that, and they make a biopic, I'll be looking forward to see if they nailed it. Now I seen the 1979 biopic of Elvis, and that one was definitely dope. The actor looked like Elvis, and there was probably like a dozen or more or so Elvis biopics. They even had TV specials that I seen over the years, and they were pretty good as well. But this one gave you a broader look, an in-depth look in the Elvis story, and they had to put it all together. And then y'all know with biopics, you can't possibly put everything together, and you really don't want to continue to regurgitate the story, not say remix it, but you definitely want to come from a different angle. And with this piece, they definitely came from a different angle, and the story took place, they started with Colonel Tom Parker, and I learned a lot about Colonel Tom Parker that I didn't know. I'm pretty sure all the Elvis historians know all the stories, and they want to make sure you got it right. So you know what I'm saying? This is not one of those where I'm like, well, they missed this part. It's in no way, shape, or form you can cram every single thing in a biopic, but they did nail it, and they did kill it. I got a different perspective and a different take, a different angle with this one. I didn't know, like, for example, I didn't know Tom Hanks was in it. I never really read the credits or nothing. I just kind of wrote it off at first. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it to stat. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna watch the movie. So I watched it in its entirety, and I gotta say, I definitely enjoyed it. It was about 2 hours long, which I expected. They didn't disappoint, man. I thought it was super duper dope. I got a chance to see a side of Elvis that I never seen before, and I thought they put it together oh so well. A lot of things I didn't know, especially, I don't want to give a movie away, but I encourage you to watch it. I think Rotten Tomatoes gave it like 7 out of 10, but that ain't got nothing to do with me, so we do like a 5-star rating, and I definitely give that movie, I give it about 4 out of 5, or possibly 5 out of 5. I'm gonna give it another watch, but we're gonna definitely probably revisit this again. But right now, I'm definitely like 4.5 stars right now. I'm definitely there. And the only reason I won't give it 5 out of 5 is because Elvis didn't look like Elvis all the way. But he definitely killed it though, and they did the best they could. He definitely embodied the character. I mean, if you close your eyes, you definitely felt like that was Elvis, you know what I mean? And don't take my word for it, just look at what the Presley family had to say about it, and they definitely nailed it. They definitely said it made them emotional, so you know they hit it right on the head. They kept it 1,000 from what I understand. Man, I thought it was dope, and I thought it was sad at the same time, especially, they took the angle from the Colonel Tom Parker angle, and I felt like, man, he was more like a predator, more so. He was giving me like predator vibes, like preying on people. And a lot of times, like back in them days, you heard about a lot of recording artists that got jerked, had the worst contracts known to man. And who would have thought the biggest person in the game, arguably the king of rock and roll, is what they call Elvis Presley, is the king of rock and roll is what they call him. I didn't think, like a lot of them, a person of that stature would get jerked the way he did. Like, the storyline was crazy, man. Like, you heard about these things, and you heard about Colonel Tom Parker, but that's kind of like they took that angle and brought him in, like how he found Elvis, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really have to go all the way back, because like from the previous 1979 version, they started with Elvis. This movie started with Colonel Tom Parker. And I even found out Colonel Tom Parker, that ain't even anybody's real name. Like, turns out he's not even a U.S. citizen, technically. He went years, basically, you know, living a double life and a different identity, which was like, I know for some of you Elvis fanatics, I know y'all like, duh, but man, they really nailed it. Like, Tom Hanks actually played Colonel Tom Parker, which I thought was dope. Tom Hanks is one of my favorite actors anyway. Like, Tom Hanks is super duper dope. His range is crazy. I don't think a lot of people give him enough credit. I mean, but then again, they do. But man, shouts out to everybody that played a part in this movie. Everybody killed it, you know what I'm saying? So, I like I said, I'm definitely like 4.5, 5. I'm close to 5 out of 5. I'm gonna give it another watch, but man, it drawn me in. It wasn't a stale storyline. You know, like sometimes, you know, when they do these biopics over and over again, such as the Elvis biopics, they have a tendency of saying the same thing over and over again. And now that I'm a resident in Las Vegas, it just kind of hit a little different. So it kind of made you, you know, look at some of the hotels, residencies he performed at, or where they used to be, and all these different stories that you hear that you may have, they probably left out of the movie. But then again, the ones that they did have in the movie, you got a real in-depth look in the mind of Colonel Tom Parker and Elvis Presley behind the scenes, as well as his parents, man. Like, his pops was kind of bogus in a lot of ways, man. Like, it kind of made me think on a lot of different things, man. And I got a different level of respect for Mr. Presley. Elvis Presley, who I'm talking about. Not his daddy, but Elvis Presley. Him having a relationship with B.B. King the way he had, and like a lot of others there. Mahalia Jackson, him being affected by Dr. King, how he felt about the Kennedy murders, both John F. Kennedy and his brother. There was a lot of parts in the story that was pretty interesting without giving it away, but I definitely encourage you to watch it. Rotten Tomatoes gave it like 7 out of 10. It's got high praise and it was definitely recommended. I definitely give it a 2 thumbs up if that matters, but man, I definitely want y'all to go watch that Elvis biopic, man. It's definitely worth the watch. You definitely watch it again, and you know me, like I said, I'm a big biopic fan, and I definitely put that up there with one of the ones, you know, like normally, a lot of people don't be killing the biopics, man, but this one right here was on the money right here. And for $85 million, it should have been. I ain't gonna lie, man.
You ain't lying.
Man, they had bank making this movie. They did their thing. I ain't gonna lie. That's my movie review. I ain't gonna overtalk it too much. I ain't gonna talk too long and drag it out. This is not a podcast. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and hit that notification button. Make sure you go to www.powercircle.biz and get yourself some head busters. Knock out all-purpose seasoning. It's bringing the simplicity back in cooking. It's making cooking fun again. And for those of you that don't know how to cook, it's a definite cheat code. Matter of fact, buy a box of 10. You know what I'm saying? You gon' trust me, once you buy that one, when you buy that first jar, you gonna wanna buy it again. So you might as well just go ahead and buy 10. Take my word for it. I use it. This is like one of my secret recipes that I use at home all the time. You don't need nothing else. It's mad healthy. Little to no salt. The only salt that's in it is from our Cajun spices. Pink Himalayan salt. That's it. And it also contains turmeric and ginger. So y'all know the importance of turmeric and ginger. So if you don't, make sure you go look it up. It's definitely good for the inflammatory system and definitely good for mucus as well. So with that being said, y'all know my slogan, keep God first, stay sucker free, and by all means get to the money. Peace and love. Stay healthy, and I'm out. Peace. Y'all know my slogan, keep God first, stay sucker free, and by all means get to the money.